radical equations. Let me start off by apologizing to Byron and Erica for having to watch this video again, just because everyone else didn't. So let me jump into the procedure first. First step, always get the radical by itself. Second step, solve for x. Third step, not a bad idea to check it because sometimes it will not check out. So take a look at example 1. First step, again, is to get the radical by itself. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. This is kind of similar to getting like absolute value equation, to get the absolute value by itself first and then go from there. So this gives me the square root of x is equal to 10. Now I want to get x by itself. So I'm going to kind of think about how would I get rid of the radical? Well, I would have to square it. So I'm going to square this side, and remember, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So basically, what I need to do is pay attention to the index. Remember, if there is no index, it's 2, and then just raise it to that same power to get the radicand by itself. So I'm going to square both sides. This becomes x equals 100, and we're done. In this example, I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to, whoa, oh, what happened there? I'm going to get rid of those lines first, and then I'm going to write this in radical form. So remember, if I want to put this from having a rational exponent to radical form, it would be the cubed root of 3x plus 3. This plus 3 is out of the radical. And so I need to get the radical by itself first. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And then I want to get rid of this radical. So I'm just going to raise it to the power of whatever the index is. The index is 3, so I'm going to raise this to the third power. But whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. So I end up with 3x plus 3 is equal to 27. If you didn't know what that was equal to, you can certainly type that in your calculator, 3 to the third power. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And divide by 3. So x is equal to 8. Like I said, not a bad idea to check. So let's say we wanted to check this value into the original equation. So here's my check. Whenever you do a check, you want to always start with the original equation. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to substitute in 8. And just see if we get the same thing. So I have the cubed root. Let's see, 8 times 3, that's 24. Plus 3 is 27. Hopefully that's going to be equal to 6. And it does, because the cubed root of 27 is 3. So this checks out. I'm going to have you try example 3. Here's a hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Try to get this radical to the other side before you go any further. So good luck with that. Here's number 4. So I'm going to get the radical by itself first. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And again, I want the radical by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Right away, I see a problem. Do you? What's the problem here? See how I have a radical equal to a negative value? If you think about it, if you're just taking the square root or any even root of something, there is no way in the world you're going to get a negative number. So that kind of raises a red flag, but we're still going to continue, and I'm going to square both sides. So over here, I'm left with the radicand, x plus 8. Over here, I'm left with 1. Subtract 8 from both sides. So I get x is equal to negative 7. So I really want to do the check on this one because it just doesn't seem right that I had a radical equal to a negative number. So I'm going to do a check over here. Again, I'm always going to start with the original equation. And I'm going to substitute in negative 7 for x. So 4 times the square root of 1. 4 plus 3 is not negative 1. It helps if you make that noise. So I can see that this does not check out. And so x is not equal to negative 7. And we have no solution. That's one way of writing it. Or you can literally write no solution. Or it would be the empty set. Any one of these three you can use. So here's the deal. If you don't think that you'd realize this red flag when you get to a radical equaling a negative value, then get in the habit of checking. Just do a quick check. And you don't have to write it out. I mean, you can just check it in your calculator if you're just careful with typing it in. But do the check just to see if it checks out, because if it does not check out, then there's no solution. Now, if you were to get this in a multiple choice question, you better believe that negative 7 is going to be one of your choices. So just be careful and keep an eye out for those negative numbers. All right, see you tomorrow.